Have you ever wondered how one actor can play two people? How some directors get single camera shots that seem impossible? Or how improv comedies get such perfect timing?
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin with Imagineer Systems and Boris Effects, and today we're going to show you how to do take combinations. That's right, take combinations can be seen in the movies Gone Girl and Birdman, and most recently in the film Legend. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. So let's get started.
To begin a take combination, you first have to line up both of your shots inside of Premiere, or whatever your host application is. In this case, we're going to use Premiere. Now, if you're not sure if this is going to line up with your other shots, what you can do is you can actually double-click on your audio and expand your audio so that you can see how this is going to line up. You can see I've just quickly retimed a little bit of this section to make our Let's Get Started align. So I'm going to turn our mutes off, and we're going to hit play.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin with Imagineer Systems and Boris Effects, and today we're going to show you how to do take combinations. That's right, take combinations can be seen in the movies Gone Girl and Birdman, and most recently in the film Legend. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. So let's get started.
In this case, I used my audio files to make sure everything was lining up properly. And you can see we have two different takes. Now the problem with this is that these are both handheld. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Mocha to stabilize these shots, and then we're going to do a split screen to composite them back together. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to render both of these clips out as separate clips. So take one and take two as separate clips. Let's go to File, Export, Media, and let's export this. Alright, now let's export the other one, making sure it's something Mocha can read. From here, we can open Mocha Pro. Alright, now that we're in Mocha, let's open our footage. We're going to open the right footage. And the reason I want to open the right footage first is because I want to stabilize this and place it into my in-motion shot. So let's just go ahead and hit OK. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try to stabilize this shot based on Mocha tracks. Now I'm going to cheat just a little bit. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock down every element that's noticeable in this shot so that I get the proper camera motion. So let's come in here and track our tabletop, just like this. I'm going to add to X-Spline and grab our post, our light socket, and I'm going to grab our picture frame. And this should counteract some of the jello that happens when you are trying to stabilize a DSLR shot. We're going to track translation, scale, rotation, shear, and perspective. And we're going to track all of those backwards. Alright, now I'm going to go to the Stabilize module, and I'm going to hit Maximum Smoothing and All Motion. And what you'll see is that Mocha has accounted for the wiggle in my shot. So from here, what I can do is just hit Render. And yes, it really is just that easy. Veteran Mocha users will recognize that I cheated a little bit and tracked various objects in the scene that are not coplanar. That's okay when we're doing a stabilize. Because with stabilize, you want to take the average of all the motion in the shot, not just one point of data. Otherwise, your one point of data will be locked down and everything else won't be. Everything else will just rotate around your object that you stabilized, which looks weird. It's not desirable when you're stabilizing, which might be the understatement of the year. So now we can export our movie. Let's go to File, Export Rendered Clip. Let's save this as a QuickTime movie. And we're just going to save it in our results folder as Right Stable. And hit Render. And let's just hit OK. So now what we have is this lovely stabilized shot on the right side take. And since this is rendered out, we're going to use Mocha Pro to insert this into the left-hand take on the right side by using our left-hand data. Alright, now that we have stabilized this shot, what we're going to do is we're going to make a new project with our left footage. So here is our left footage. We're going to track some of those same elements of our shot the same way we tracked our other footage. And we can turn our grid and surface tool on to see how this is looking. Alright, so here's the part that I think is cool. I can either composite this in a compositing program, or I can use the insert tool to composite. I actually want to use the insert to composite it, and here's why. Alright, so here's the cool part. I'm going to go ahead and call this BG track. And I'm going to make a new layer right about where I want to be when I'm combining my take. I'm going to call this Insert Take. We're going to link Insert Take to BG Track. So now my take will follow that track. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my insert clip and I'm going to import my stabilized shot. And you see it will fill up my surface tool. Well, I actually want to align this to all four corners of the frame, so let's go to Align Surface. And here's why I like using the insert tool. I can take the insert tool in Insert and I can align my footage really handily over my clip. You see, having control over the transparency like that allows me to align my shot correctly in my frame without having to bother with compositing tools. Now inside of my insert, I'm going to use my layer mat, just like this. We're going to turn our surface tool off for a second so I can grab this top corner. And now I'm going to add some edge feathering. We're going to use the Uber key. And let's turn our overlays off. I'm casting some serious shadows on the wall here, so I want to make sure that I have enough feathering to handle that. Let's turn our overlays back on. I'm going to use my pick selector tool to pick the edge and pull that way out. With the top edge, I'm actually going to come in just a little bit so that I make sure my black line from my stabilize doesn't contaminate my shot. Now, to get as much shadow as I can from this arm, I'm going to pick my inner edge right here, pick my outer edge right here, and let's make sure that my hand doesn't contaminate that section. We're going to pick both edges, and I'm going to pull that in just like this. And that, very simply, is how to composite inside of Mocha a take combination. If I'm feeling very froggy, I can turn motion blur on and hit render forward. From here, you can simply go to File, Export Rendered Clip, QuickTime Movie, and all you do is save your video. From here, you can go to Premiere, go to File, Import, import your combination, and drop it right back into your comp. And now you're done.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin with Imagineer Systems and Boris Effects, and today we're going to show you how to do take combinations. That's right, take combinations can be seen in the movies Gone Girl and Birdman, and most recently in the film Legend. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. So let's get started.
You can also use Mocha Pro to do take combinations inside of Nuke. The way that we do that is we take our read nodes, and in this case, again, we're going to stabilize our right side node to put into our left side node. The reason we're doing that is because the right side take is just a little bit more shaky, and the left side take gives me more screen to put the right side back into. So, let's get started. We're going to go back over to Mocha Pro, and you can see that we're going to use our same track that we used for After Effects. If you find when you paste your data in that your data is not quite on point, that it's a little wobbly, check your project settings, and inside of your project settings, make sure your frame offset is the same as the offset inside of Nuke. Inside of our track tab, we're going to take our right-hand track that we've used to stabilize our shots. We're going to go to Export Tracking Data. We're going to use Nuke Corner Pin, and we're going to hit Invert. We're going to copy this to the clipboard. And then inside of Nuke, we're going to just select our read node and hit Paste. Now, if we select one to view what we've done, you can see that our shot is stabilized really nicely. And that's just an inverted corner pin. Let's go back to frame 1. I'm going to take my roto tool inside of Nuke, and I'm going to make sure that I have a nice blend between where I'm trying to put myself. I want to keep the background mirror from the other take. Inside of my output, we're going to do pre-multiply RGBA, and we're going to path our background right through a shape. From here, I can increase my feather, and I can increase my feather fall off. to make sure that this blends nicely. Now I simply hit M for merge, and I want to make one new merge node. We're going to select our left hand clip as the background, and I'm going to put my corner pin for my left hand motion right on my merge of my right hand take. So let's go to Mocha Pro, let's go to Recent Files, and let's go to our left hand track. And in our left hand track, we're just going to go ahead and take our corner pin, because it's the same corner pin that we used for our other. And we're going to export tracking data, Nuke corner pin, and we're not going to hit invert because we actually want to match this camera motion. That's what we're using this corner pin for. So we hit copy to clipboard, select our merge node, and hit paste. Now when we hit play, you can see that this moves properly. Now we have one problem though. Putting our corner pin on has offset where our alignment is. That's okay. We're going to select our corner pin node. We're going to hit tab. We're going to check for a transform node. Inside of our transform node, we're just going to slide this to where it needs to be. Now, if we close all our nodes, you can see we have a comp. We can make any sort of adjustments we want. So in this case, we're going to go into our roto node and adjust our spline. Let's increase our feather, decrease our feather fall off, so we get a little bit better blend. We can select our feather points and drag our blend out on our left hand side and our right hand side, and we'll end up with a much nicer comp. If we close that, you can see that we blend really nicely back in with the scene. So now, if we hit play, you can see that we have a really nice comp from just a couple of nodes. Obviously, this is a simplified technique. If you have any objects that are interacting with one another, you're going to need to do a lot more roto in order to make this a more convincing comp. From here, you can do any color corrections you'd like to do on the shot and render it out. Now I'm going to show you how to do this if you don't have Mocha Pro. If you don't have Mocha Pro, you can use Mocha for After Effects inside of After Effects. Alright, once we've imported our footage, we're going to take our left footage and we're going to drag our right footage right on top. We're going to go to Animation, Track in Mocha AE. Alright, so now we're going to track the same objects that we've been tracking, and we're going to track translation, scale, rotation, shear, and perspective. The reason we track translation, rotation, scale, shear, and perspective is because, again, we want to grab the DSLR jiggle that happens in the shot. Alright, so now I'm going to save that. I'm going to go File, New Project, and I'm going to choose my right footage. And now we're going to track this footage. So let's track our same objects, and we'll go ahead and track translation, scale, rotation, shear, and perspective as well. Alright, now that we're done with our track, let's check it. Looks pretty good. Alright, but here's the magical thing that we do. We go and we take our surface tool and we align it to all four corners of the screen. This will make this first frame be our stabilized frame. It'll be where the frame is full frame. We're going to go ahead and export our tracking data. We're going to export corner pin only, but we're going to hit invert. This is important because this is what makes it stabilized. We're going to copy that to the clipboard, and back over in After Effects, we're going to take our right movie, making sure we are on frame 1, and we're going to go to Edit, Paste. Now, this will be stabilized based on our tracking data. Now I can come in here and I can make a quick mask around myself, just like that. And I can go into my feather and I can feather the heck out of that mask. Now here's the fun part. I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to align it in my shot, just like this. And we can adjust our mask if we like, just like this, and just like that. Perfect, so now we have ourselves nicely in the shot. Alright, so I select my layer and I go to Layer, Pre-Compose. And we're going to move all attributes into the new composition. Just like that. So now it's completely still. But it's aligned on the first frame. Back in Mocha for After Effects, we're going to open our recent files, which is going to be our left file. We're going to save this one. And on the first frame, we're going to do that same align surface. Now that's because we want this animation to be applied to that frame that we just dropped in here, but we have to align it to the surface so that it moves properly because we've aligned everything on the first frame. Let's go to Export Tracking Data, After Effects Corner Pin, copy it to the clipboard. Inside of After Effects, we go to Edit, Paste. And now we move along nicely with our shot. I can see though that I need to adjust my mask just a little bit. So we're going to take our mask down to about 50 on our feathering. Just like that. Alright, so we have one problem here. You'll notice that my mask is feathering into my hair and we're getting a line here where my comp is cut off. That's okay. Because this has to be the same size, we have to deal a little bit with the limitation of the comp size. So what I'll do is I'll actually move and I'll adjust my mask. And once I've adjusted my mask, what I will do is I will go back in my comp. You can see I'm in the wrong place. That's okay. I'm going to make a layer, new, null object. I'm going to link myself to my null object. And now I can realign myself in the shot and I move properly in space. I need to take my feathering down just a little bit. Let's take it down to 80. And let's expand my mask about 20 pixels so I no longer grab my hair. Now I look like I belong in the shot, and that I'm casting shadows on the wall. From here we simply go Composition, Add to Render Queue, and render it. This same technique can be used to create any twin effect like they just recently did inside of Legend with Tom Hardy. I have an identical twin, so this is not really a necessary trick for me, but she wasn't available for this video. This technique is also used on movies like Bridesmaids and The Hangover, where you like one actor's line from one take and then another improv line from another take and you need to combine them. And like I mentioned at the start of this video, this technique is also used for combining two different shots, especially handheld shots, that make a movie look like it was filmed all in one take, or make really long scenes seem like they were filmed all in one take, which is completely impractical to actually film. If you have any questions, I am Mary Poplin with Imagineer Systems, and you can visit our website at www.imagineersystems.com.